The graduates. So let me see. So let's talk about transfer portal and recruiting. So the transfer portal. So this is, again, if you've been following them in the prime era, this is where CU does a lot of damage in recruiting. So we look at first one, Xavier Hill out of Memphis. So this dude at a point was ranked the number one offensive tackle, number one player, I should say, in the portal. He played offensive tackle at Memphis. You will see him play guard. He's 6'4", 320 pounds. You're going to see him more than likely at left guard next to C. So that side of the offensive line is going to be a problem. So our next guy, man, I hope I don't butcher. If I butcher this, my fault. Akai Ogunbayi from Texas A&M. Humongous interior presence, can be an anchor, 6'4", 340 pounds. Again, like we talked about earlier, we look at this. CU has brought in some monsters, some huge dudes, some monsters. They're gonna be able to run the football this year. Just going with that. Cooper Lovelace, out of Northwestern, versatile guard tackle, and there's even some speculation of him competing for center right now. 6'5", 315 pounds, coming from Northwestern, tons of experience. Zy Chrysler, Illinois, big frame. So humongous dude. Started for Illinois last year. So for the Illini, they return, I can't remember how many starters. It is I want to say somewhere around 18, 20. But Zy Chrysler, he is one that transferred out. And again, 6'7", 350 pounds. You will see him lined up at right guard. Walker Anderson, UCLA transfer, redshirt in 2024. So now we'll see what happens with him. He's a development player. And again, never hurts to have those guys in. One day he can become a starter on this team. Who knows with the coaching there? And again, the coaching in Boulder is tons of ex-NFL players. So we'll see what he does there. Andre Roy Jr., Maryland. Wasn't a ton on him that I could find. So I would say probably more so some depth there. Larry Johnson III, Tennessee. So again, another massive individual. 6'7", 350 pounds. And I would say more so probably you'll see right tackle was where that competition is at. Manya Mani, Ole Miss, coming from Ole Miss again, appeared in 16 games over two seasons over there at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Again, size and experience make him a valuable addition to the Buffs offensive front. But yeah, these transfers, so, CU wasn't playing in the transfer portal with the offensive line this year. I think, and it is hard to find offensive linemen in the portal, but I think, basically almost every single one that came out that was, impact player, Colorado was all over. Prime and the recruiting staff, again, Box and Phillips, they were all over that. So, again, they have built they are building a monster on the offensive front. So let's talk about, just one individual or two individuals, I should say, that are big time recruits. So let's start with Carday Smith. So he was on a couple visits there at CU. Him and Julian Lewis originally committed to USC. They came on a visit out to, was it Cincinnati? I think it was a Cincinnati game. We're on a visit there. Again, powerful frame, high ceiling. I was watching some videos on him, probably, I want to say like January, February. Quick feet, good hand placement. Dude is going to be a player. Glad the Buffs got him. Chauncey Gooden, another 4-star offensive guard, 6'3", 380 pounds. This kid, sky's the limit for him. Him and Carday Smith. In a year or two, man, that offensive line, those are two anchors of your offensive line. Going to be really fun to watch those two grow. Hudson Stevers, so he's from Evergreen, Colorado, local kid. I would say more so you probably see him take a redshirt year. And again, he has great size and technique, great to work on his size and technique. I want to say he's 6'5", 270. But we'll see him. You'll probably see him play a couple years down the road. So just a lot to work on. Again, he's in the right place for that as well. Looking at this, CU's O-line is rebuilt from the portal. Some elite recruits, elite transfer portal names, players. So really excited. This is core is huge. I want to again, they're huge offensive groups. So 6'3", 332, 6'4", 332 pounds, I believe, is the average across the offensive line. I can't remember seeing that in CU probably since those early, since those early 2000 days with Andre Giroud. I think that, man, I feel like that's the last time we've seen that. So really excited for that. This offensive line is going to dominate. Let's talk about this. So projected week 1 starters. So against Georgia Tech, obviously, the easiest one's Jordan Seaton at left tackle. Again, expect big things from him this year. Just to continue growing, he'll be a household name by the end of the season, if not earlier than that. They'll be talking, at some point they're going to talk about him. If he would come out this year, he'd be a top 20 pick or whatever it may be. But Jordan Seaton, sky's the limit for him, and especially him putting in all that work. And again, he is the leader of this football team. Your left guard, Xavier Hill. So that's our transfer from Memphis. And I think, I want to say those two are pretty locked up. That left side is you can run the ball there all day long. Those two dudes are road graders, great players, and probably both players you'll see playing on Sunday. Center, Zarian McGill. So I like him at center. I forgot to go over him with the transfer portal. But he should be the starter. Now there is a little camp battle going on between him and Cooper Lovelace at the center position. I do think McGill wins it, but I would not be shocked if you see Cooper Lovelace take over at center or even win that position. Again, it's a good problem to have right now. Right guard, Zy Chrysler from Illinois. Again, massive human being. I think it was 6'7", 350. Really excited to see him. And then right tackle. This is kind of where we get a little bit. So Phil Houston, he was a starter last year, got hurt. And Larry Johnson, a massive guy coming over from Tennessee. Excited for him. Larry Johnson the third. Let me see, where did I have him? 6'7", 350. Zy Chrysler the same. But excited for him, and we'll see what he does. But again, I would not be shocked as well as if Philip Houston wins that position as well. But again, that's where I think the starting offensive line is going to be week 1 versus Georgia Tech. And look, this is we're going to see them in action. First game of the season, Friday night kickoff. They're going to have to run the ball this year. These last 2 years, they haven't been able to. They have had the luxury of having, Shador Sanders there, Travis Hunter out there, Jimmy Horn, LeJontay Wester, Will Shepherd. I mean, and again, we talked about Amari Miller, but they have to be able to run the football. I would expect Caden Salter as well. Caden Salter, again, he brings that different dynamic as well, right? Option, your zone read plays. He's going to create a lot of problems as well, because he can, what a lot of people think of is running quarterback, can throw. Caden Salter can do both. And again, you watch some of that tape from Liberty, the 23. Dude had an arm. Dude has a cannon. So I'm excited for him. And again, Julian Lewis as well. If he's the one that wins the job, Julian Lewis can move too. So it's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a fun season, but I expect them to be able to run the football. You'll see Buffs are going to be able to play some, run down the clock, get that defensive break, not always have to throw it, but this offensive line is massive. Let's see. Question was, I feel like consistency is huge and something CU hasn't had a lot of luck with when having good players. I think over these last few years, so far in the prime era, these dudes are showing up to want to play with them. In years past, it was always hard to recruit at CU, again, for one reason or another. And I'm sure that Prime took the position at CU with the understanding of we're going to spend money on our football program. And again, we've seen nothing short of, Rick George living up to that, the athletic department, the school, with the contract extension, the changing over of the turf. Um, they've been spending money there. And again, I think this is as long as Prime's there, I think the Buffs are in great hands. So I think as we've seen the last couple years with Prime, luck has shifted, and I think it's going in the Buffs' favor. So rotational players. So Walker Anderson. Again, we talked about a couple of these other guys. Cardai Smith. I don't know if he's going to touch the field as a freshman. The dude is talented. It would be awesome if he did. And again, but I mean, we'll see what happens, And again, I don't want to use tie, but if there is a tie at any point where Cardai Smith is doing his thing, you would want to think it goes to the younger person, just to build on that. But again, some of these guys have been within the program or whatever it may be. But we'll see what happens. He's not starting week 1, I'll say that, but it would not shock me if mid-season Cardai Smith is the right tackle. Wouldn't shock me one bit. Let me see. There's one. And Chauncey Gooden. So bright future. Really bright future as a guard or interior offensive line. And again, it would not shock me if you do see him and Cardai get some burn this year. Those two dudes, again, future of the offensive line right there. But we'll see what happens. But I feel really good about this. This offensive line. Again, this is the position that I am the most excited for heading into this football season, to the 25 season.